What as a guy do you wish girls knew? That sometimes a hug or nice compliment can mean a lot. We can ride that wave for quite a while. I wrote this in another sub, but it's relevant to this comment. When I was in middle school, a girl I had a crush on told me I had beautiful eyes. That was 22 years ago, and I still ride that high. Playing hard to get does not work for a lot of people. It's 2021. I ain't gonna chase no one. She says no. I'm backing all the way up. 100%. I recently found out that someone I asked out a few months ago was really into me. But when I asked them out, they plain rejected me. Then they went crying to one of our mutual friends 2 weeks later that I had backed off and wasn't talking with them more than cordially. They wanted me to pursue them. But I have no time for that. If you say no to me, it means no. Accordingly, it's a cold stop for me and I move on. I don't have time for games. And I'm not going to risk my reputation or your comfort. I will not put myself in a situation where my actions could be misconstrued and lead to you being uncomfortable. So when you draw a line in the sand and say no, it's done. We will remember a genuine compliment. FOREVER. When I was 14 and bagging groceries after school, a girl told me I had beautiful eyes. It's been 25 years. I think about it all the goddamn time. When I say I don't mind, I really mean it. If I did mind, I would say so. Anytime my boyfriend would say I don't mind, and I'd keep asking are you sure? And after a while he legit said this exact thing to me. It honestly made my paranoid ass feel a million times better to be assured like that. My GF does this all the time. I tell her many times a week to interpret what I say literally, to not search for any hidden meaning. I'm simple. I mean what I say. I ask for her to be a bit transparent in return to make things clear, even if it's stupid to her. Just today we got into an argument. I told her to tell me when she's available for a call because she hung up when she got busy and not just texting. Then 3 hours later she thinks I've been busy because I haven't been texting much. I remind her that I told her 4 times because I knew this would happen to tell me when she can have a call, and she still acted like I was the one who had been busy. But nope. My fault because I hadn't been texting much. LOL. If you genuinely compliment a guy, don't be upset if they don't react the same way a woman would react to a random compliment. Most dudes get them so infrequently that when it does happen, there is a part of them that wonders if it was genuine or if they are just giving them a polite and or pity compliment. This often leads to an awkward, unenthusiastic response to said compliment. It never occurs to most guys to just say thanks. A friend of mine constantly told me to stop saying you to after compliments or stop trying to reciprocate it and just say thank you and accept that someone has said something nice about you, and it's something that I've tried to do more. Just take the compliment and understand it's okay to be happy when someone is nice to you. I really like to hang out with my friends because I love them, not because I don't want to spend time with you. Men love being the target of a romantic gesture. Many men never have been. I got asked out on a date once, 6 years ago. I still recount it for the occasional serotonin boost. I bought a stranger a drink at the bar once because it was karaoke night and he killed it. Still friends over a decade later. When I met his sister, he introduced me as that girl I told you about who bought me a drink. There was a girl I used to work with who was in its support, and we kinda talked a lot because my work computer always had printer issues. She was a cool girl and I liked her quite a bit. One time I was going for a McSpicy burger and she got on the elevator the same time as me. She then told me, "Hey, I'm getting a Starbucks. Do you want to come with?" And I said, "No thanks. I'm grabbing a McSpicy," and we went different directions. I then realized as I was biting into the McSpicy that I had just turned down a coffee date from a girl I kinda liked. I fixed that the next time we ran into each other though, and we saw each other for a while. But man, I can still remember that entire exchange like it happened 5 minutes ago. I'd never been asked out since. When you tug my wang, you're not starting a lawnmower, and you're not shaking a bottle of ketchup trying to stir the ketchup water back in. A good hug is always welcomed. As a girl, God, I wish I had the balls To hug the people I wanted to. One day hopefully. About the shrinkage. Sometimes it hides like a frightened turtle. I was in the pool. I was in the pool. An erection is a non-voluntary muscle reaction. With or without stimuli. Only a selected few have mastered the ability to manually command their boners to stop being erect. I knew a guy called Brian left before Lefev or something. He could go hard to soft and back again on command. Dude was a legend. Had a pretty intense vibe, like he was hiding something. I saw him do what he called a B2 male, not too hard, not too soft, man's a golden god. Making a move on a guy will nearly always be appreciated, as well as communicating issues clearly with no bullshit. Sometimes mans just need some alone time. From everyone and everything. The longer I go without it, the more I need it. The more I have it, the less I want it. What am I, kids? It's okay to make the first move. Guys can be shy too. Come talk to me instead of staring at me. But when they do come talk to me, I don't know if they are just being nice or making small talk, lol. Sometimes men just don't get hard. It's not you. It's many things. From lifestyle and diet to stress and anxiety, and just getting older. Please try not to take it as a sign of lack of attraction or affection. Sometimes it just happens. It's called arousal non-concordance. The reverse is also true. Just because a man has an erection doesn't mean he's turned on. Edit, here's a good video that does a good job explaining it more for anyone interested. Link. Girl, I'm dropping so many hints. Why doesn't he get them? Boy, I think girl is dropping hints, but I'm not sure I want to risk my friendship and embarrassment, so I'll just ignore them. I think those are hints. Wait. No. Don't be a creep. She's sitting on my lap. Yes. Wait, no. I just read a comment about a girl who sits on everyone's lap. Do anything. Don't be a stalker. Shit, she left. That every expression that crosses our face does not relate to you. Some of us have a lot going on between the ears and we are trying to make sense of it. Yeah. My mind can go on wild tangents in a second. Wife is talking to me. She says something that triggers a thought, that triggers a memory, that triggers another memory, that then makes me think of that time in college when my friend did that thing. And now I'm grinning while she's talking about how we need to get the roof fixed. Why are you grinning? No, I'm not. We like random gifts. We like random hugs. We like random signs of affection and love. Sometimes just a cup of coffee in my favorite mug is enough to convince me it's going to be a good day. Absolutely. My wife used to do little things like place her hand on the small of my back or touch my shoulder as she walked past. These tiny acts of affection really do go a long way, and they're the main thing I miss. Where my 10mm socket is. Get away from me at night in the summertime. I still love you. I'm just hot as duck and don't want to snuggle. My GF was sleeping on me last weekend and my mind was screaming, "Get off me, woman, how are you under a blanket in this heat?" Anyway, I know not to wake a sleeping demon, so I'll let her be. My husband figured out I was pregnant when it was me pushing him away, complaining about being hot. In our tiny apartment in January. We live in Florida, so it wasn't freezing. But anything below 68 at night meant I was going to add an extra blanket. If you don't tell us you want something, we honest to God won't know. Case in point. My ex was sat at home and I was going to the local shop. "Hey, do you want anything from the shop?" "No, I'm good." She got mad because I didn't buy her anything. Reminds me of a comment I read on a relationships sub. I once told my boyfriend I didn't like flowers and he never bought me flowers again. Well, yeah, no shit. Please ask us out. It makes us feel wanted and loved. I asked my fiance out. He's also blatantly told me that nothing would have ever happened if I didn't make that first move. When we tell women that we don't know how we feel about something, it's usually true, and we genuinely don't really understand how we are supposed to feel. I personally wasn't allowed to express emotions growing up, and it turned into me not being able to understand my emotions. I'm with you there, dude. Most of the time something happens around me or my father, we don't have an emotional response. We try to figure out the best way to fix the problem. or we are trying to understand what is happening and why it happened to either make sure it happens less or more accordingly. I know he was raised to be that way by his father, and that he raised me that way. The constant rub some dirt on it when you're hurting. Or the real men don't cry. The one I heard the most was you can't feel your way through this problem, you have to think your way through it. The worst part is I know it's a problem. It's killed relationships I've had. It makes it hard to understand what some people are going through. And in the moments where something so extreme happens that my brain finally pushes the emotion response to the forefront, it's overwhelming. It's a strange dichotomy to know why I'm separated from my emotions 99% of the time, but not being able to figure out how to fix the problem. I've even been in therapy for years trying to figure out something that works to no avail. The funny part is I was talking to my roommate about it once, since he is also a therapist, and was curious. He said it was kinda sad that was how my dad and have lived our whole lives. To which I replied, well, on the bright side, we didn't know we were supposed to be sad. When we went on that date, and I kept you warm on that bench and you rested your head on my shoulders, and afterwards we kissed and said goodbye, I still wasn't entirely sure you were into me, and I've been thinking about how dumb I'm for the last couple of days. You jest, but this is painfully true. I'm perfectly happy sitting in silence playing video games for a few hours at a time on a weekend morning night, and it doesn't mean I'm mad at ignoring you. Don't want to spend time together. Yeah, boys, just trying to chill. We want to be seen as sexy, beautiful creatures. Many of us want to be pursued also. To feel like we don't have to always motivate women into wanting us. Nobody should be the designated initiator 100% of the time. Nobody should be the designated initiator 100% of the time. I'm genuinely tired of this shit. If you're throwing signals at a guy and he's not catching them, it might not be because he's so dense he doesn't notice them. It might be that he does see them, but his self-esteem is so low his internal dialogue talks him out of believing you are interested in him in a romantic or sexual context. Throwing more obvious signals doesn't overcome that. If knowing his self-esteem is that low isn't enough for you to lose interest, be direct. That doesn't mean ask him if he wants to have coffee or get a drink with you, as either of those leave wiggle room for misinterpretation. Ask him out on a date, specifically say date, so there is no mistaking your intention. The worst thing likely to happen is that he'll say no, which does sting, but not like spending a month throwing hints he never responds to. When we say we are thinking about nothing, the majority of the time it literally is just nothing, or ridiculous scenarios that we make up that sound stupid when said out loud. If you don't want to hear the truth about something, don't ask me to tell you the truth, because I'm going to tell you the truth every time. How do you think my best friend is pretty? Dim, so we are breaking up then. Just because I'm not talking doesn't mean I'm not enjoying my time with you. Only speak if it improves upon the silence. Exactly. If I have nothing to add to the conversation, it's better I stay quiet. I don't want to annoy anyone by talking too much or killing the silence. Not every silence has to be awkward. All the hurtful things they say and do don't just magically disappear from men's memory. We have feelings too, and shitting on a man for being honest with feelings as not being manly is not only cruel, but also highly ironic considering there's a constant yearning for men with emotion. Edit, thanks for all the lovely awards. Some kind folks out there 3, and also, it hurts to see how many of y'all have been hurt. I feel for you, truly. Hang in there. I'm rooting for ya. I think I remember a quote by someone that went, the axe forgets, the tree remembers, and that couldn't be more true. We actually really want to be complimented too. A 60-year-old woman complimented me 5 years ago and it still makes me feel good, which just shows how little we get compliments. A Canadian stripper said I had nice teeth 6 years ago, and I still think about it to this day. This made me LOL. I want real knight armor for my birthday, but I'm not allowed to say so, because society forces me to hide it. Who doesn't want one of these? Sometimes a guy just doesn't wanna talk. It's not cause we hate you, or are sick of you. Just wanna be alone, and do my own thing. You know that complaint that women sometimes have that just because they are polite to you doesn't mean they are interested in you. Yeah. That works both ways. I'm not saying good morning because I want to bed you. I'm not holding the door for you because I think you'll reward me with some nookie for doing so, etc. etc. I'm doing so because, like you, I'm a decent human being and I'm being polite. Username doesn't check out. When I say I'm not thinking of anything, I'm not trying to hide things from you. I'm exploring the sea. That is my mind. No destination. Just exploration. Sometimes stuff is just difficult. For no reason. I can also be sad. Just because I don't cry doesn't mean I'm not sad. And we don't get hints. Just tell us what you want and things would be so much easier for everyone involved. Also, we don't want to be the ones who always initiate sex. It makes us feel creepy sometimes. 3. Because I just want to be wanted sometimes. I read the toilet metaphor on Reddit and it's now my go-to to explain this to girls. Sex in your relationship is like the toilet in your house. It's not the best part of your house and it's not the reason you bought the house. It's not the thing you think of first about why you love your house. But if your toilet isn't working right, it is the absolute one most important priority and it needs to be fixed immediately. No, the relationship isn't just about sex. But if we are not having it, or it's unfulfilling, or if it feels like we are unattractive, then yes, guys will obsess over that. Wow, there's a way to put this into words. We need just as much support as you do. It's always a shock when a guy kills himself until you look back at all the subtle cries for help. We are screaming on the inside and we need someone to let us know it's okay. Edit to all those asking me if I'm fine. I'm the least of your worries. Please, instead of talking to this meaningless random dude, if he's okay, just go ask your fathers, brothers, mothers and sisters. Your family matters, not any of these ducking digital inputs around you. We love compliments. I can't talk for everyone, get so few. But those I do get really means a lot. I've read this before on similar threads, and it's really had an impact in how I talk to men. Outside of a performance review, most adult men don't hear compliments. I go out of my way to give people, especially men, specific praise now. I have a teaching degree and I know how important specific praise for kids. But no one's ever talked about what happens when people stop giving you that. My husband is literally tired of compliments at this point, though. Edit typo. Almost every day I tell my husband that I'm grateful for him. I think he has been fed up with it for some time now, lol. Edit. We have this moment daily where we talk about what we are grateful for. He asks most of the time. Then I honestly reply that I'm grateful for him. Now he's like, yeah he is, I know you love me, lol.